I'm in Tucson today, and we're down here working on our coming year, making plans for the coming year for our church at Grace Walk, and meeting with the staff. We do this once a year. We have a staff retreat, and this morning I got up, got my cup of coffee, and went out on the porch there and began to study the Word, and like to do. And one of the things that, as I opened my Bible and began to find a place to read in the Word today, that really I felt led to was Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Now, usually when you think of Ecclesiastes chapter 3, you think of the beginning of Ecclesiastes, which is often used at funerals, and it says to everything there is a season, to a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. And it goes on. But this morning I really felt led to, as I got into the Word, to read beginning in verse 9 and through verse 13. I want to share that with you this morning and what I got out of that and what it spoke to me. But let me read that with you. It says, "What profit has the worker from that in which he labors?" So it says, "What profit has the worker from that which he has labored? I have seen the God-given task which the sons of men are to be occupied. He has made everything beautiful in its time." So life is a series of seasons, and I think we have to appreciate the season we're in. We have to rejoice in the moment that we're in and see that the moment we're in today is going to be different tomorrow. And as time goes on, those moments are going to change. Those seasons will change, and we need to rejoice in the moment that we're in. But it says he has made everything beautiful in its time. Also, he has put eternity in their hearts. And this is so important, that we're not earthbound, but we're heaven-bound. And our hearts need to always be linked towards the fact that we're moving towards heaven. We had a man in our church pass away a couple of days ago that just such a blessing, him and his family, to our church, Ruben Rodriguez. And he's with heaven. He's in heaven. He's with Jesus. We often say out of a better place, but in reality, he really is in a better place. And but sometimes we just don't. We want everything to remain the same forever on this earth, and that's just not practical. And we need to have eternity in our hearts. We need to be heaven-bound, not earth-bound. And then it goes on to say here, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. So it says, also he's put eternity into their hearts, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to the end. In other words, we have no idea what tomorrow holds and how God's going to use tomorrow. And I often reference the scripture in my life that all things work to good for those that love God and are called according to his purpose. So it doesn't matter what season I'm in, what I'm going through, I understand that everything is going to work for good and for my blessing. And then in verse 12 says, I know that nothing is better for them than to rejoice and to do good in their lives. So we have to have this attitude of gratitude, this attitude that I'm going to rejoice in the season I'm in, and I'm not going to be sorrowful for the times in the past and the times that are now changing, and things are not always going to be as they are today. But verse 13, I really like, and it says, let me start at verse 12 again. It says, I know that nothing is better for them than to rejoice and to do good in their lives. Verse 13 then says, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. God really does want us to enjoy life. And I think a lot about enjoying life is really based upon our mindset and accepting what God's doing in our lives right now, having eternity written into our hearts and have made up our mind that that's where we're going, and that's what life is all about. We're here on this earth for a period of time, and during this period of time, God's developing who we're going to be in eternity. And we can't always have things remain the same. We're all going to age. We're going to lose those we love. We're going to lose the ability to do certain things that we've always taken for granted. And but regardless of that, if we keep that mindset that all things work to good for those that love God, are called according to his purpose, we can rejoice in any season that we're in. And I encourage you to do that. So God bless you. This is Pastor Joe Calloway from Grace Walk, And you have a great day today.